easy action. We're gonna get started with the review in 3, 2, 1. Chicle! Hey guys, welcome to Chicle Chat. It's your boy Chicle, and we're about to do our first Broadway review of 2020. I would have posted this video earlier, but tickets were sold out on different nights. This show is currently still in previews. It is a revival of the most revived shows on Broadway. People have been saying a lot about it. I want to get my chance to share my thoughts. This is the revival of West Side Story at the Broadway Theatre, directed by Ilo Van Hove and choreographed by Anita. Before we get started with this review of this revival, make sure you guys hit the like button, the subscribe button, and that little notification bell so that you can be notified when another video comes out. Also, I'm going to be doing a Q&A next week, so I will answer any questions in that video. And in order to answer your questions, first you need to ask me a question and then leave those questions in the comments below. Hashtag AskChicle. Ask me whatever you want and I'll answer it. And now, with that being said, guys, let's go. You guys should be familiar with West Side Story. I'm not going to tell you the plot. I will say that it's just pretty much two opposing gangs, and there's two people in each one that fall in love, and it was just a great masterpiece. It's revived so many times, and there was a movie about it, and they're making a new movie of West Side Story directed by Steven Spielberg, which I'm excited for. They're going to do the original in that movie. This revival has been talked about a lot recently, and it's still in previews, which is really crazy because I still thought they had their opening night at some point, but they haven't yet. But anyway, this is a modern interpretation. This is directed by Ilo Van Hove, who did Network, and this is a debut of a choreographer named Anna Teresa de Keersmaker. I'm going to talk about the cast first because I want to let you guys know what I thought about certain cast members. Now, unfortunately, Isaac Powell and Ben Cook were both injured. And I saw the show on January 16th, so therefore I was unable to see them both play Tony and Riff. I did get to see Jordan Dobson play Tony, and I have to say, he did a really great job. His singing was so smooth, he had great chemistry with Maria, he was phenomenal. Then we have Shireen Pimentel as Maria. Now, she was gorgeous. She was a great opera singer, which is completely different because there's not really any opera in West Side Story, but I love her voice regardless. I would have to give myself a question mark by saying, did she really have to play very aggressively? I feel like she could have just pulled back a little bit, and I feel like she shouldn't be pushing Tony after they kiss, like so many times, because they're both obsessed with each other when they first meet. But she was really great nonetheless. The understudy who I saw that played Riff was Darian E. Jones, and I think he's gonna officially play Riff because I don't think they're gonna bring Ben Cook back, but they're gonna bring Isaac Powell back. I don't get it. Despite that, I thought this Riff was super tough and it was really great. He's up to every jet and is like, you know, this is our territory, we need to fight for it. And he was like so aggressive and everything. I love it. One of my favorite actors in the show. Then we also have the opposing group's leader, Bernardo. He's played by Amar Rezamar. He played Bernardo, and I recently saw him as Jigger in the Carousel Revival back in 2018. And I have to say, again, like I said in the other video, great dancer, great actor. I love the conflict and the intensity between Riff and Bernardo throughout the entire show. During the War Council, during the Rumble, during the Mambo, during, you know, the end of the prologue. Like, it was great. The tension is so realistic, yet so violent. You know, the things with the Jets and the Sharks, I'm going to talk about those groups as a whole. The guys, when they fight each other outside of the choreography, was so realistic. That's how they usually fight in this time period. It gets more violent, more dark every revival, but this one was so intense, and I love it. Then we also have Anita. Played by Yanicia Ayala. And she was gorgeous, first of all. Second of all, great performer, great dancer. And third of all, one of my favorite characters in the show. She was funny, sarcastic, sassy, everything that defines Anita. And despite the modern interpretation, she still kept some things about Anita that I liked. And it was pretty much everything I listed out. Doc, played by Daniel Oreskes, phenomenal. Lieutenant Shrank, played by Thomas J. Ryan, phenomenal. Pipa Perthree as the Glad Hand. They actually made a woman play this character during the dance scene. I thought that was great. Officer Krupke, played by Danny Houlihan. I want to say not my favorite character personally because usually Officer Krupke is the comedic, not so smart one. In this version, and I'm going to explain more about this later because I think it's interesting but important, he's too dark, too violent, and too serious. And that's something I would not expect in any West Side Story version. Because, you know, he's an officer. I understand that, but tone down the violence, buddy. But overall, as a cast, great job. Now I want to talk about the choreography. The choreography is different, obviously, because it's not Jerome Robbins. It's a different interpretation. It's mostly hip-hop, contemporary salsa stuff happening. I was so hyped for the mambo. I was like, you know, in the mood, in the zone with Cool. And America had the guys in it, but they did in the movie. But in like revivals of the musical, they usually don't include the guys, which is respectfully what it's supposed to be. But I just like it with the Sharks anyway. So it was great. They had a gay guy dance with the girls in the Sharks in America, which in 2020, like, get used to it. Now, I do question about one scene, and it's the prologue, because in the prologue, it's not much dancing. It's just the Jets lining up, and they do like a camera pan when they like do each individual. Same with the Sharks. Aside from all of that, like the choreography, in my opinion, I liked it. It's not Jerome Robbins, but I liked it. The music and the lyrics in the book, they kept it the same. I would have to say though that it's weird to hear Daddy-O and Buddy Boy in this interpretation because it takes place in our time, and it made a lot of sense in like the other West Side Story used. But that's just me being picky. But I love it how they respected everything. Now, what you need to know about this revival, and I don't know if I said in the beginning of the video, this is all one act. There's no intermission. Are you kidding me with the lights? No, I'm just gonna ignore them. This is gonna get dark anyway. It's all one act. There's no intermission, and it's going to be, you know, an hour and 45 minutes. And there's a lot of things in this musical that are so dark, which it already has been in the beginning, first of all. But they take things to the next level, and if not, they kind of go too far. The Rumble scene was violent. It has to be, but oh my gosh, there was a lot of like beating up, and everybody's like on the floor almost like bruised or dead, which I'm pretty sure they're all not dead, but you get the idea. The Officer Krupke stuff and the whole theme of police brutality, I understand that's a thing now. I still think that it's too dark. Especially the Dear Officer Krupke number. There's a moment where Officer Krupke comes up to one of the Jets, punches him in the stomach after saying something sarcastic during the dance at the gym or the hall or whatever. And then there's a scene before the Officer Krupke number where he pulls out a gun and one of the Jets pulls out a cell phone and then he puts the gun down and walks away. So they, you know, highlighted some things because it's true, but whoa, I just didn't think that it worked in this version. The lighting just went darker because I think we might as well just talk about the darkest moment in this revival, and it's the taunting. It is the most disturbing part of the show because you see how the Jets become, and they just get too playful and too, you know, they cross the line and they make, you know, Anita uncomfortable. Now, I want to clarify, normally there's no rape involved, but it does happen in this one. Let's just say that because they had it in effect, you know, the whole cameras coming up and stuff, because I'll talk more about the cameras and the video stuff later, but like they bring it up close to Anita when the Jets are like grabbing her boobs, down the legs. Oh yeah, they grab her everywhere, and they pin her on the floor, and one of them got on top of her, and oh my god, what I just witnessed. Oh my god, it's so dark, so disturbing. Since we're on the topic of like the whole video thing, they had this whole projection, and they usually have like clips and stuff, and I try so hard to not get distracted by it because I already know coming in the show it's going to be a completely different interpretation. So all that videography, in my opinion, was not needed. I can see why they have like the cameras up close to the actors and stuff to get like an actual impact from a different visual perspective. But I was just too distracted. I wanted to see everything on the stage. Now, a lot of people enjoyed it. I don't want to get so much hate. I felt like the biggest element that was brought into this revival was the most distracting thing ever. And I felt like it was unnecessary to have the drugstore and the sweatshop. Oh, it's not the floral shop, by the way, it's the sweatshop. To be completely different rooms instead of scenes on this big stage, because this is the Broadway Theatre. It's a lot of space. And aside from using all the dance numbers, I feel like it was a waste looking at the screen instead of seeing everything, brought on the stage instead of just isolated rooms. I feel like they really were impacting a lot of moments in every scene in the drugstore, but I still feel like it was isolated. We have a movie coming up later. Here's my final thoughts, and I have been taking a lot of time to figure it out. I would have to say that despite this story interpretation being super amazing, it was just too hard to get engaged with all of the distraction of the videography that I feel like was unnecessary because it's theater. And then they had the additional police thing and that rape scene and the taunting scene, and that just ruined it for me. And if they would have gotten rid of the videography, I would have loved it. But in my opinion, I would give this revival a 7 out of 10. And it's just because there's just too much happening. It wasn't bad, but it was distracting. Ask yourselves, should you see the show? Well, a lot of people have been complaining about revivals being reinvented. This reinvented interpretation, however, I think would work. And I think you guys should go see it because a lot of other people say that they like this. And I like the version. I just feel like there was just elements that just didn't work with it. But you guys can go ahead and watch it and, think about it for yourself. If you're somebody that's like, I don't like reinvented revivals, then don't go see it. I would not recommend anybody under 16 to see it because I don't want any of the young ones being scarred by the taunting scene. If you guys can handle an hour 45 minutes, because this is not going to be a show with an intermission, definitely go see it. If you really want to get a different perspective from an original show, I would say go see it. But if you don't want to, then don't. I think it's pretty much up to you guys. And there you have it. That's what I thought about West Side Story. We'll be back with another Broadway review video, but not too quickly because, not too soon because, there's still more shows that are like coming out way later. Not like right now though. I might see Girl from the North Country, I'm not sure. Let me know down in the comments below. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next Chicle chat. Peace out!